The Cookie Monster has arrived. You're looking at her for the final time. The two-time strawweight champion Carla Esparza, UFC 307 on Saturday. Carla, it's so rare that people chart their own course, go out on their own terms. You've done this. Congratulations on the birth of your son. How good or weird or whatever, how does this feel? Let me ask you, how do you feel right now as we head into the final date?
I mean, it feels great. I'm like ready to take that next step, but got business to handle first on Saturday, so I'm trying to stay focused on the fight, but also just kind of enjoy these last experiences of fight week. Anything from just kind of like being in the cage to even cutting weight. It's just like this is the last time I'm gonna be in this sauna like this. Like
Well, let me ask you about that. Was it when you're cutting weight, are you like, yeah, good, this is the last time I'm going to be doing this? Or is there that lament, like, this was my life?
yeah, it's hard to say. I'll let you know on on Thursday and Friday, but for me, I think I'm just gonna be sitting in there in my sauna thing and be like, okay, this is the last time. Don't worry, like relax. You don't have to do this anymore. But I mean, my weight cut's not too bad, so I can't complain. But yeah, I think just each time like going through an experience in 5 week is like, it's the last time I'm gonna, you know, I might still see people, but not on this level of being a fighter.
Sure.
Last time I'm gonna experience it like this, so it's cool.
Look, you're making a quick turnaround, giving birth to your son. Congratulations on such an incredible life event. Does that change your mindset at all entering this fight?
Um, I mean, a little bit. I mean, camp has been certainly different. Just instead of just being all fight, sleep, fight, eat, repeat, now it's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's just like in a fight, you roll with the punches and you make stuff work. It's not always going to go as planned, but you make it happen.
You've got Tecia Pennington in front of you, who you do have history with. You're part of that initial tough class. You scored a majority decision over her under the tough season, the exhibition bout so many years ago. I mean, 10 years of this division, it almost feels like this, like a romanticized, like it's all coming to an end as all the fighters from that class are hitting at this point in this career. How much getting a chance to do it a second time with Tisha, somebody who you've known for so long, has added to the specialness of this last fight for you?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's almost kind of poetic, to come full circle like this with someone from the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool the way it kind of worked out. Tisha and I are on good terms, pre-booking this fight. We had messaged a little bit about mom stuff and coming back to fighting and everything. So, there's not bad blood. It's just kind of like, hey, like, respect, but let's go in there and punch each other's faces.
What do you recall about the fight 10 years ago when you two were in there against each other?
I recall like, I've watched the fight again, but I recall definitely being very tired after and just kind of being like, oh, this is rough. Like she was very strong, hard to hold down. So, I think she's only gotten better, but so have I. So it's kind of going to be kind of cool to see like 10 years later, kind of where we both evolved to.
What would you say 10 years through this now? What sort of the division's legacy is? Because you're such a big part of this division's history, being the inaugural champion, a two-time champion. And now that you get to exit here and you look back, like, how proud are you at everything you and that initial class created?
I'm so proud. I mean, I have so much respect for, just kind of that journey that we've been on and that we are still on all these years later. And just to kind of see how far not only our division, but, women in the UFC have come since then. I mean, we were the second division to come in. And then since then, two more have been added. And it's just kind of like you have women headlining cards right and left. You have multiple female fights on cards, pretty much every card, 8 females on this card. So it's really cool to see kind of the scales kind of tip in more towards like female fights and stuff. And for me, they're some of the funnest fights to watch. So I've really enjoyed seeing it grow.
You've had such a cool career because you were the inaugural champion. You stayed a tough contender and always a tough out, but you put together that great run to get back to the title. You evolved your game. as the sport evolved around you. Where do you see yourself fitting in strawweight history with that? With that resume now as you enter the final dance.
I mean, I'd love to, to eventually be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that would be so cool. And I think winning the title the first time, like seeing where I was as a fighter then to where I am now, there's been so much growth, and you have to grow to still stay in this division with all these, killers. Like everyone is so good, and there's young blood constantly coming through the UFC, and you have to like be at such a high level even just to compete with these people. So, it's cool to have been able to stay at this high level and compete with all these youngsters coming in.
What do you think was the biggest change you made in your career to be able to have that long second life?
Um, Gosh, there's been so much change, but I mean, when I really went back to the drawing board after my first two fight loss in a row, I really took focus on my diet, like changing, like being able to put size and muscle on to get stronger. And I changed my mindset. I used to, be very like superstitious and negative and, all these things, but just kind of really changing my mindset and, and really as a wrestler, like training, you don't want a wrestler wants to be like top position, ground and pound, but just training my weaknesses as well and focusing on kind of just being a beginner again, I think has really helped me evolve.
It's a weird question to still bring up when you win the title for the second time. You have that weird fight with Rose that is never your fault. And it was just weird. Like in hindsight, did that take away from what that moment really meant to your personal journey?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, like to me that goes in line with you can prepare for a fight, all you want, but you never know how it's going to go. It can go completely opposite, whether the outcome is the same or not, but even just the game plan, like you have your game plan and they have a game plan, and you just never know how things are going to shake up. And sometimes you get some strange fights like that, but that's just how this fight game goes.
I mean, you fought a who's who at 115 pounds throughout your entire run. You've got 2 wins over Rose Namajunas on the title level, one of the greatest to do it. It's a pretty incredible run. Was there ever an opponent that you didn't land a fight with that, looking back, is maybe the one that got away?
Um, there's always, so many good fighters. But I would say like Mackenzie Dern, she even I think mentioned that they asked for the fight. I didn't know about it, but I think that would have been a fun one. I mean, I've talked to her and her family a lot, over the years we've sat next to each other, but I think it actually would have been a really exciting match. And I would have loved to have test myself against her jiu-jitsu. I think that would have been really fun. So yeah.
When you look back, if somebody asked you, what's the best of Carla Esparza? What was the best performance? As a fan, I might say the Yan Xiaonan fight, where my eyes just bulged out and I was like, you are back again. You're absolutely for real. Where does that fit in the great run of Carla Esparza?
Yeah, I have to say probably that was, other than, winning the title, that was probably like my favorite fight for sure in the UFC. Just getting that finish is like bloody mess. I'd love to get another one of those finishes. Definitely a strong position for me, but yeah, I would definitely say it's probably my favorite.
What are your expectations for this fight with Tisha Pennington? I wonder, like, is the mindset like last time, let it all hang out, just win, get that win and survive and walk on, or are you not even really focused on wins and losses? Where's your mind at with this?
I kind of have been training to be prepared for the high altitude up here, but overall, like I think I'd love to be able to show a bunch of tricks, that I've had in my toolbox that I haven't been able to show over all these years, because maybe it was like a little too risky, or it just, okay, I gotta like keep things kind of secret so that people don't know I have this flying, spinning upside down back fist or whatever. But yeah, I would love to just kind of go out there and show some fun moves that I haven't necessarily gotten to show in the past years.
Do you have any pre-fight expectations of what the experience will be like on the final walk, how the crowd may receive you before or after the fight?
No, I'll have a warm welcome. We're early in the card, I saw, so hopefully a good amount of fans will be there to kind of capture this moment. And yeah, I'm excited just to be out there, like, high-fiving everyone for the last time, walking from that cage.
Will you have your son in the arena watching you for the final fight?
That's the plan, but just like a fight, things don't always go as planned. So we'll see. But ideally, I'd love to have him out there and step into the cage with me for that, that last moment.
I mean, it's kind of wild to ask a fighter this because we don't normally get this type of setup, but I mean, do you think about what you would want your MMA legacy to be?
Yeah, I would love to be known as somebody who helped grow the sport for women. And, when we see, I want people to say, like, hey, we have all these women on this card. And like, it didn't used to be like that. There were, all of these women who kind of had to grind through and, go through and basically create a path for everyone else and make it a normal thing. That would be a really great way for people to look back at me.
Well, the first fight I ever got to cover in person was your first victory over Rose in the tough finale. So it sort of means a lot to me to see that great generation come and a couple still fighting. But Carla, congratulations on a really incredible career and the mark you've left on this sport. It's an honor to get to talk to you before the last fight, and I wish you well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for covering my journey.